Okay. Hope everyone has joined, and it will be a 2-hour session today, and I'll try to cover as much as possible. We'll be glancing you all through all the options available in QB, and if there's any question, you can always put it in that WhatsApp group, which you're already in. I can answer that. And so, as a brief explanation on QuickBooks, if you see, it basically works as more
Friends, please wait a moment. I think the internet was some problem. So give me 1 2 minutes. We will do the session as well.
hello, hello. இல்ல காய்ச்சிட்டுக்குள்ள டிஸ்கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க யாரோ நீங்க டிஸ்கனெக்ட் பண்ணீங்க ஓகே 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 ஃபைன் 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 தட் கனெக்ட் ஓகே sorry, there was a small technical issue. Hopefully, everyone can hear me. If there's any issue, just don't hesitate to just drop a message here. So without further delay, I'll just start on it. So QuickBooks, basically any company, you have to create it. So this is a home screen, and not the home screen. This is a startup screen, which you have to create your company. So the first step, as you know, it will be create a new company. So you click create a new company, and it will start with the basic question. So in this setup, this is where you actually set up your business. For example, whether it's a private limited or a public or a service sector, IT sector, QuickBooks actually has custom made quite a lot of businesses. Based on that, it will set out your basic requirements, so you can actually uh, fill it out. So I'll just start it. So you guys just go start setup. You put a business name. So for the time being, I'll just say IDM, or we'll say XYZ. Industry, you can always go and check the industry. QuickBooks gives you the options where it has all, like I said before. If you click it, it will suggest all the industries which are available. So I'll just go with the general one because so it will cover all the basic accounting requirements of a company. Because if you, for example, if you see here, you can see this is a general service based business. And if you go to something like non-profit, you will come across the accounts are different, gifts in kind, too many new things will pop out. If you go for medical, you will see fee for service income, capitation, refunds, and all sort of stuff. So just to cover all sort of in a general way, I'll pick general service based products, business. And we are going to click OK. The business type, I'll pick as sole proprietorship just to keep things very easy. And we create the company. Uh, just to remind everyone, if you all have a problem hearing me, just drop a message in the chat. Getting created. Give me take.
Abhilakshan sir, sorry for interrupting. I think your update bandwidth is very low in the internet connection.
Yes.
If you
Is
have
the line not clear?
yeah, line is voice is breaking because once you share the screen, uploading is very low. So better if you have another internet connection, just if you switch the network, then we can see.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll reconnect. Wait, give me a minute.
So dear students, please wait for some time. I think Abhilakshan sir's internet connections have few issues. So we will change the internet connection and try. Yeah. Yeah, we will restart the session from beginning. So don't worry, just wait for a few minutes. Huh? And this is the QuickBooks software we are going to teach you today. So if you want to download this software, again, the software we have referred you, a website which we have referred you earlier, there you can able to download this particular software again. Abhilakshan, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Mayur, sir, can you hear me now clearly?
Yeah, I can clear. Just share your.
Better than the previous one, right?
Yeah, better than the previous one.
Okay, I'll share the screen now. Wait.
So students are asking you to start from the beginning again.
Sure,
That's it.
sure. Okay, I'm very sorry regarding the internet connection. Uh, Give me a minute. I'll start up again because I have already created the company. Right. As I started before, QuickBooks is basically is like a ERP system, but actually doesn't match the entire ERP requirements. But in terms of financials, it's actually almost it covers about 80% of the entire requirement. So, like I said before, we are going to start up the business. In order to start up business, first of all, you have to create the company file. So in order to create the company file, you have to know what sort of business you're engaged in. So today, what I'll be covering is the business which covers almost everything. I won't be going into any specific business industry such as like IT or medical or anything. But if you all happen to work in a sector like that, you can download and fix it, and you can see all sort of individual line items popping out. For example, if I take a medical industry, so you can always come across a fee for the doctors, a capitation, room charges. So it will automatically QB will set up the revenue items for you to pick. You don't have to go and create one by one to spend time. So we are going to log into. We are going to start up the business. Hopefully, no one has a technical issue here. Everyone can hear me. If there's anything, just please drop me a message. I will look into it. So let's set up the process. Okay, the business name, we have to, I'm just picking a random name, and the industry. So this is where the important part comes. You have to be very mindful when you create the industry. When you're picking it, you should know what your business is and what are your products and what sort of services you provide and what sort of expenses you incur. So QB has already given you tailor-made industries setup. So you can either pick on that, or you can simply say other or none and create all your accounts. But I will not suggest this, because if you go for other or none, you have to start from scratch. It's not going to be easy for you. So I would always suggest a general service based business where you can cover most of the expenses and income. Or else, like I informed before, if you check like something like a rental, or if it's a not for profit, you can see the line items which are changing. So you can always pick them off. So I'm going to pick general service based business, and I'm going to create the industry. The next important thing is the business type. As you all already know, business type differ. You can either be a partnership, a sole proprietor, or a quoted public, or not for profit. So you're going to prepare. I'm going to create the company as a sole proprietorship and create company. This will take few minutes because QB has to set up the home screen. Uh, right? The home screen is set now. Click home. Give me a minute, it's still loading.
Just close and tabulation, sir.
அவரோட சவுண்ட் கேக்குது இல்ல. இது உத்தரம்.
Dear students, just wait for a few minutes again. I think there will be a small problem in the application. So until that, I think there are a lot of students asking where we can download this QuickBook version. So original QuickBook to use, you have to purchase that. So in the software you have to purchase and you can be able to use. Otherwise, when you are using the copy version, that means the pirate version, it will be able to download it in our getintopc.com, which is a website we are sharing you throughout all the subjects. So if you attend to other subjects or introduction class, you will be able to know. So just go to that particular website. So then you can able to download that software. So it is, I can show you if you want. Yeah, I'll show you. Website is called getintopc.com, right? So there you can see a lot of category. So you can able to download the QuickBook by searching here. You can able to download it. Okay. Elections, is that okay? Okay, so this is the result. So when you search here quickbook.com, quickbook, then you will be able to download different versions. So this will be the latest version which is available. It's 18, accounting 18. So when you go down, you can see the sample window, and it minimum requirement to run the software. Usually they will mention it in down. So this is the system requirement to run this particular QuickBook. So you should have this operating system, and minimum requirement is 1 GB, and the hard disk is this much is needed to install and code to do all latest processing. So there is a requirement to install the QuickBook, and you can go down and just press this button, then you can download that software. So this will work. So I will be sharing the link into the chat window. So later you can, not now, because now if you try to download, your internet will go for that, then you can't see the video clearly. But after this, you can able to do that. Okay. So thank you. ட்ரையல் வெர்ஷன் பிடிக்குது போல. நீ அப்போ அதை நார்மலாக அது ஹோம் ஸ்க்ரீனை விட்டுட்டு மிச்சத்தை வச்சுக்க விட கொடுத்துல மெனுவில் இல்லைங்களா?
Sir, this is Dian. Hello.
Yes, Dila.
Yeah, I talked with this sir, but his network still have problem. So he trying to fix that one. So I
Okay.
think you can continue from now.
Okay, he can continue.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, okay.
Hi.
So,
Mayur sir, can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry guys, bit of a small technical issue. The thing is like when you so I'll continue, start from the beginning. What we started with QuickBooks, we set up the company, we fixed what is the industry we are going to work on, and now we are in the home screen. Actually, when you load the home screen, you should see quite a lot of links here where I'm like pointing the mouse, but for some reason it's not loading here when I'm sharing the screen with you all. I'll anyway take you all through how it's going to be done through the shortcuts. Just be with me. If there's anything, just drop a message in the chat bar. I'll reply to you how to be done. If you all actually install this in your machine, you all should see a home screen with so many links. For example, if you go to company here, you will see all these uh, these lists will be there: chart of accounts, the item list, the vendor center, the customers, how to make the payments. Everything should appear in one screen. That is the home screen. But unfortunately, I can't upload it here. I can't share it with you all for some reason. It's not working.
Abhilash,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
to see the show it, just Google the home screen and just show the picture.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, there's a small technical issue in the QuickBook. So when you're trying to share it, QuickBook will be restricting this interface, that means the initial startup interface. So that's what that is today only we get to know that in the Zoom it's not allowing to share the main interface. So that's what we will show the main interface in the picture format. So normally if I switch off the Zoom, it will be showing. If we switch on the Zoom, it will be not showing. So I think that is technically they have did something on it. So today only we also get to know that. So that's a small difficulty. Anyway, Abhilaksha sir will be showing you how the home screen will come. Then from the menus we will be continuing. But anyway, before the next class, if you install the software, you will be able to see the home screen in your window as well. Okay, so I will go for some answering. Actually, this is not a free software. QuickBook is a paid version. You should pay it and buy. So normally there are company packages available. So you can officially buy this software. Sri Lanka also there are a lot of dealers available. So through that only you will be you have to buy this software. So that is the first thing about QuickBook, and also this software will be mainly working in a lot of office now. 80-70% of companies, they are using the QuickBook. So I will show you a screen. So this what the home screen of a QuickBook will be, right? So Abhilakshans are trying to show these particular screens to you. So this is the main home screen. Abhilakshans sir. Right. So when you open the company, that means in the QuickBook, it will be showing this particular screen to you. So it's very easy for you to just follow the flow, right? Flow of the transaction. These arrow marks will be showing you the flow, how your company transaction will be done. So in this home screen, you will be able to click on the places and you can add the transactions, whatever you want. So there are categories: vendors and customers, employers, bank related details, company related things. So likewise, they have easily customized this. So this is again a very good option. Abhishek sir, can you see the window?
Yes, I can see the window.
Then
So if you see here, once you load the company, this is the structure you will see. Now, usually this is the order. I will just explain here and then go to the in detail, or else you all get missed out. We start with company, where it's the chart of accounts. That is the starting point we all have to start with, because for any company, before making a sale or any purchase, it's always about the chart of accounts. You can be a new company or an existing company. Based on that, you have to first go with the trial balance. The trial balance has to be set. So for that, we have to open the chart of accounts, and if you see, already QB has fixed the line items which needs to be filled. Anyway, now for example, if you take fixed assets, we can have also always have types of fixed assets, that is machineries, furnitures, chairs, table. So there's a way you have to add these. So Mayon sir, can I move this screen? Is it no? Hello.
I send a request, you accept the request, then you can move.
Okay, so cool. So if you see here, you have the line items, and you have the expense accounts already, which QB has given you all. But however, we will have different sort of requirements which needs to be filled in. So I'll start with the most easiest thing, fixed assets. So you all know fixed assets. They have already given an example as furniture and equipment, but we may have machineries. We may have furnitures in different types, maybe a chair, a table, computers. So how we are going to create is go to account, and you go to new, and then you will see a window where it will ask for the category. Now here you have to be very careful when you're picking the categories. If you make a mistake here, you will have to delete the account and start over all over again, because QB doesn't allow you to amend or edit classes. So now we are going to create a fixed asset for chair. So firstly, it's not an income or expense, it's a fixed asset. So you click this fixed asset, and then you simply click continue. Then it will ask for the account name. So I'm going to say it's computer. You can always put a description, but you can also leave it off. You can simply go to enter your opening balance. So now I'm sure you all have an idea on accountings. Basically, the opening balance, if it's for a new company, it will be the cost. If it's for existing company, it will be the net book value. When I say net book value, it will be the cost minus the accumulated depreciation, which will come as the opening balance. So opening balance, yet again, is a critical point. You have to be very careful when you're entering these things, because when you make a mistake and when you work on the entire company, you might not end up with the correct results. So I'm going to click the enter opening balance, and I'm going to put a value of, we'll say 100,000. And the next point is as of. The as of date is where the company is starting the work. So that means it can be 1st April 2020, or if you have started the company in 1st Jan 2020, it's the starting point where you're going to record it. So we go to as of date. So we have picked for opening balance as 500,000, and we are going to set the as of date as 1st April 2020. So this is your opening balance. Now, if you have further more assets, you can simply click save and new and enter another one. If this is the only fixed asset you have, you can always save and close. So just for additional purpose, I'm going to say save and new. And if you move the screen, you can see your line item computer has been already created. So I'm going to add another fixed asset. I'm adding this just for another purpose because later we might need it for depreciation, how the depreciation calculation. So I just in advance, I'm creating it. So let's fix the amount of 1 million for this opening balance. Save and close. Right. Now we have created the chart of accounts, but it doesn't end here. We have only created the fixed assets. Like I said before, we can always go and create other accounts by saying save and new, or else you can go to account again and click new. The next important thing is fixing your current assets. Now, a small difference compared to other software packages and QB, you have to pick cash and bank separately from the current assets. You all might know current assets, bank and cash and bank falls under current asset, but you can't categorize them as other current assets here because QB has a separate module for payments. So in that case, you have to put them under bank. So I'm going to create a bank account here. So you click bank. I'm repeating it again. Be careful when you're creating a cash account or bank account, do not put it under other current asset, even though it's a current asset, because QB has a separate payment module. So you click bank and then click continue. You create an account name, we'll say it's commercial bank. And then, like I said before, the opening balance. So what it says as statement ending balance is at the year end. That means usually if you're starting a software package at the beginning of the year, it will be your last reporting date. So statement ending balance will be an opening balance of the next following year. So let's say it's 1 million. And the statement ending date, I'm going to pick 31st March 2020 and say okay. You can always put your bank account number, routing number. So when you're actually working in a real platform, you can put these things, which is a must. Now here, I'm not going to do those things. I'm just going to create commercial bank and I'm going to close it. So I have created a bank account. I have created 2 fixed asset account. Also, I should create a cash account. Now, even in QB, you have to create a cash account under the bank. You can't create it under other current assets. So when you're creating these things, be mindful to make sure there is a separate other current asset called bank out of the line. So don't go and pick it under other current assets. So I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to spend more time in this chart of accounts. I hope you all have understood how these things work. So I'm just going to simply close this company file. Now, the next item after chart of accounts is going to be our stock, because updating our stock is going to be more important before we make the purchases or the respective sales. Now, just before you do these items and inventory updation, you can see here something called the items and services. But before doing this, you have to make sure to do a small thing in your preferences. So you go to edit and go to preference. You will see a desktop, you will see a window. In that, please go to items and inventory. In items and inventory, you will see a line item saying inventory and purchase orders are active. Now, why we do this, why the whole purpose why I came to this window is whatever the inventory you're going to buy or sell will have to work through a purchase order. And when you're selling, there'll be a sales order, sales estimate. In other words, everything should be updated in a normal company by company terms. But here, if just in case, if you don't do this and move forward with the updation of inventory, your inventory will not get updated with your respective purchases and sales. So this is a key point which you all might have to mark it down or write it down when you all are working in this. So I'm going to repeat again. All you have to do is go to edit, go to preferences, click items and inventory, company preference, and say inventory and purchase orders are active. Once you click this, everything will be active. You have to simply enable it by OK. Once you say OK, QuickBook will have to refresh it. So I'm going to say OK for this. Right. Now, if you had a okay, now if you all had remembered how the screen used to look before, and now you should see a difference. You can see here the purchase order and the receive inventory. There is a flow. This flow will only be created if you do these preferences. If you don't do this preference, whatever the items and services you're going to update will not get in line. You will be updating your items and services and trying to sell, but however, you won't be able to get a clear picture. Your records will be incorrect. You won't be able to do that. And be mindful, if you do this and later you come and do the edit or preference, if you do the preference check, you can't go and change this anything, because stock in hand cannot be edited. I'm repeating again, stock in hand cannot be amended again, because those things are much more vital for a company. So I'm going to go to update items and services. I'm going to explain how items are going to get updated here. So this is your inventory column. So in this, currently we don't have any sort of items. So I'm going to show you how an item is recorded. So you simply click item and click new. If you notice here, it will ask for the type, whether it's a service, inventory part, inventory assembly, a subtotal, group, discount, payment. People who are working will know what are the differences of these things. So when you say inventory assembly, for example, it's used in the manufacturing point. But if you say service, it's a service which will say like a IT sector. But now here I'm going to show with real inventory how it works. So we are going to click inventory part. Okay, now I've selected as inventory part. You will see a window here. Now this is very important when you I'm telling this again and again, because inventory is more critical. When you update these things, it won't let you again adjust it. You can adjust the cost, you can adjust the sales price, but not the stock items or the item numbers. So every inventory will come with a specific item number, your company or whatever the flow you all are going to make. You can either put a name or number. For easy reference, I'm just going to say 001. Okay, there's some issue. Okay, I'll say AA. And then I'm going to put a description on the purchase transaction. We'll say iron. You have iron in your stock, and you have a cost already. When you say cost, it's the cost net realizable value. Hopefully you all must be knowing that. So the cost of the iron as of that reporting date. So the cost, I'm going to fix it at 300. And then there is another small thing which you all have to do. So these stocks are in your item, in your inventory, because you are going to sell them. So whenever you create a new stock item, you have to set the specific income account. Now, this is something I explained at the beginning of the session. If you are a business which has too many line items when it comes to revenue, for example, if we say take a company which sells cars, you all can sell number of cars. We'll say you all sell Toyota, you all sell Mercedes, you all sell Benz, BMW. So you can ideally put them under each respective categories, revenue line items. You can create a separate account for your sale of Toyota cars, your sale of Toyota spare parts, your sale of irons. So you can pick that. But however, here in this limited scenario, I'm going to just pick them under the total sales junk. Now, when I click, so if I put this, whatever the inventory you all are going to bring in will always have to be recorded under sales, in general sales. But however, if you really want to create individual line items, which most of the companies follow, you all can always create a line item for those items. So here this is done as income on sales. And the next most important thing, now this is an opening stock. So that means we should have a number of items in our hand. So we are going to pick on hand, we are going to say we have 10. And we are going to, we don't have to fix this total value. We are only going to change this as of date to 1st April 2020. Now, if you just click OK, it will simply get updated. If you have another item, you can always go to next. So I'm going to update another item just for you all to refresh again and see whether you all are keeping a track. So I'm going to say next. And I'm going to update another item. Another item will say air conditioners. I'm going to fix the cost. That will say 60,000. You can see your income account has been updated automatically by sales. Like I said before, if you don't want them to come under general sales, you can always create a subcategory under sales saying sale of air conditioners. That's your wish. That's the company's wish. On hand, I'm going to say I have 2. And then as of date. Now, why I'm updating this as of date, if you all don't see this and update it, when you all are doing the respective purchases, you won't be able to track it because it has got misdated incorrectly. So be careful when you're updating. Don't do it in a hurry. If you are working in real terms, always make sure it's an opening balance. So you have to start, it has to be the beginning of the year. Now you're going to click OK. So I have created 2 line items in my inventory. So these are the only things I have in my inventory. Now let's go forward with the transactions. Now, in any company, if you really want to buy anything, the first step will be the purchase order. You have to raise the respective purchase order, get the approval, and then you go forward. Now, before moving to purchase orders, there is another thing we may have customers. We will have customers and we will have vendors. So when it comes to customers, so you can see there's a vendor box, there's a customer box and an employee box. Just click vendors. Vendors are your suppliers. Why we came here is because at the beginning of the year, you might owe some amounts to your respective vendors. So we may have to create them as well. So I'm going to show how the vendor is going to get created. So you go to new vendor. And you type the vendor name. We'll say vendor name is John. And he has an opening balance of 50,000. That means Our company owns 50,000 to John. Again, as of date, it will be 1st April 2020. So I'm creating John. So here you can see an active vendor called John with a 50,000 due. That means we have to settle in 50,000. This company owes 50,000 to him. Similarly, so we are done with the vendor. We have only one vendor and we owe him. So we are done with that. I'm going to move to the customer column. The customer and the vendor, regardless of their nature, the window is somewhat same. You simply go to new customer, add the customer's name, we'll say Jack, and he has a opening balance of 30,000. Okay, so now we are done creating a customer account. Now, just to refresh things, I'm just repeating. It's loading a bit. I'll just refresh again on the key important points. Once you create the chart of accounts, please make sure you have to update the inventory. But before updating the inventory, you have to go to edit and set your preferences where you pick all your purchase orders are active. If you don't do that, your inventory will not get linked to your sales and purchases. So always be very careful. If you miss that point, you have to simply delete the entire company and restart it back, because it won't let you again adjust it. You have to make the inventory line item inactive and you have to start all over again. So please be mindful on that. Also, the third most important point in QB is the opening balances. Opening balance date will not get edited. It's only a one-time thing. You can always adjust your opening balances, but not your date. So please be careful when you're doing that. Okay, so now we have created a vendor, a customer who we owe and who owes us. So now we are going to do some purchases. So as like I mentioned before, the first step for purchase is the purchase order. So we create a purchase order. Now this is your purchase order. Guys, just remember one thing. Now I'm working as a full admin here. So if you take in a normal company perspective, you won't be allowed to do purchase order and sales order, and you just open chart of accounts, make payments. You won't be able to do that. This is just I'm just showing as an overall admin, as like a company owner, to show all these things. But in general terms, these things can be restricted which I will tell you at the end of the session. Okay, so don't confuse on those things. I will be explaining on the preferences of those. So purchase order, you simply go to vendor, you click it, you see only John, but this is a new vendor. We are going to buy some, we'll say fittings. So we are going to add a new vendor. So this vendor's name is, we'll say Mark. Now he won't have an opening balance because he's a new vendor who's coming into the company today, 7th May. So it's just a matter of creating his name and then you click OK. You can put all these numbers and details. These are not relevant now. When you all are doing it in actual terms, please do these things. I'm just going to click OK. And now you're going to update your item. So what you're going to buy is fittings. We'll say light fittings. Now, if you go to item, you won't have a inventory item called light fittings. So you have to create a new line item. So simply now, the best part about QB is you don't have to close and go back to home screen and click things. You can always do anything then and there in the same window because each and every link is provided. So here it's simply you click add new and you click the inventory part. Then you put the item number. We'll say it's AC. Description light fittings. The cost we don't know. We are not sure how much is the cost. Or there is another way you can always now your purchase order is not a confirmed purchase. I'm sure everyone knows a purchase order is just an estimate. You either decide to buy or you might not buy. It's just a rough idea you get from the. So light fittings, I'm just going to keep this cost and sales price 0. And anyway, you have to link this sales account. Date, as of date is 7th. We don't have anything in our hand. So it's just an OK. Right. Quantity. We are going to buy 2. We are going to buy 2. The amount for light fittings is going to be 6,000. Right. Now, if you see here, you have, this is the purchase order. Now, sorry, I forgot to do that. Once you do this, it will ask, do you want to update the item record with the new cost? There is no harm in updating. Also, there is no harm in leaving it. So if I say yes, automatically the cost will get updated as 6,000. But later, you can always go and change it in your selling prices. Now here it is suggesting, do you want to set a new cost? I'm going to say no and just say okay. Now your purchase order is complete. You are done with this. You're just going to save and close. We have created a purchase order. I'm going to create another. You can always create by saying save and new, but I'm going to create another purchase order just to tell you all something additional. We are going to buy from another vendor. We'll say his name is Miller. And we are going to buy something. We are going to ask for another get a purchase order from him as well. So we'll say add new. Inventory part. It's going to be AD. The purchase transaction, we'll say we are going to buy some light fittings. Yeah, just for sake. Cost, I don't know. And as of date is again normal. You updated everything. Income account has to be linked again, like I mentioned. And I hope you all are remembering that sales can be split amidst it. But here we are just putting it in one line item. And I'm just going to say okay. It has been updated. Quantity, I'm going to buy 1. Chair rate is like, you'll say it's 5,000. And we are going to save and close it. I'm not going to update this cost. I'm just going to say, because I did one showing like that, here I'm going to do as no. Save and close. Now you have got your purchase orders. So the next step you all know, purchase order goes to your senior or your superior or the manager or whoever. He will review it and he will see whether it's supposed to be bought or not. Now we'll say we have decided to buy one of the purchase order which we feel it's a good buy. So how we are going to do is, this is the area where you enter all your bills, that is your purchases. Now, when I say purchases, this doesn't involve payments. It's just the purchase invoice we are going to raise. So I'm going to click enter bills. Now, you might wonder, do we have to again do this updation of the purchase order? We don't have to do that. We have to simply click the vendor and you can see your vendors. So we'll say we are going to get it from Mark. Now, once you click this, you will see a pop-up showing open purchase orders exist for this vendor. Do you want to receive against one or more of these orders? So if you just click yes, your purchase order window will open saying there is a purchase order available under his name. So we are going to just click his name. We are going to put a tick here and say okay. You can see your items have been updated. Now, also make sure there's a small, you can always make changes to this cost or the quantity. That is, they said the AC is 6,000. Now they are agreeing saying, okay, we can give it for 5,500. So I can change it saying it's 5,500. And so I decide to buy this. So I'm going to save and close this. Now, you might remember that we updated the AC's cost as 6,000. Now it's asking, do you want to adjust the cost? Yes, obviously, because the cost you're going to purchase is going to be a new cost. You don't have to update, you don't have to overstate your costs. So this is a very easy thing. You don't have to go to your inventory line item and edit it. You can do it then and there. So I'm going to say just yes and okay. Right. Your bill, you have successfully purchased something. But just because you purchase doesn't mean you have settled those bills. So if you see, I bought two ACs from Mark and I didn't pay. How you can check this? You can simply go to vendors. You can see there is an outstanding balance of 11,000 from Mark, for Mark. You can see here in this side, your transactions with Mark. There is always an easy way. You don't have to say all transactions. Just click this and say balance details. So you have bought something and there's a value of 11,000 to be settled to him. Now, how to make the payment? We'll come back to that a bit later. I'll just cover the sales part also, or else it will be a bit confusing. You all might lose track of it. So I'm going to go and close this. I'm not going to pay anything for now. I'm just going to come to.
Abhilakshan, sir.
Yes, sir.
We will give some time to, if they have any question, they can ask.
Sure. Are they going to send me as a message in this chat?
No, or else they can raise their hand. I will unmute it.
Okay, sure. Guys, if you have any questions, you all can ask, or you can actually, if you are shy, you can always put a message. I will reply to that, no problem.
Mohammed, one person have raised the hand. So, Mohammed?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yes, Mohammed, go ahead.
Sir, first you... sir, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tell me. Tell me,
Sir,
Mohammed.
first
I'm
you
listening.
explain about
Mohammed, I can't hear you now.
Then you told cash account with there is some link with the bank account. What about it? Can you explain it again?
No, it's like this. Now, in chart of
Second here.
account, yeah, can you hear me? I'm explaining that. Okay. Chart of account, when you're creating, there is, there is current assets and
Hello?
fixed assets. You know that, right? There is a current, there's thing called current asset and fixed assets. Now, cash and bank falls under current asset. Understood? Hello, Mohammed. Are you? Hello, Mohammed. Can you hear me? So anyway, I'll just tell.
Yeah, hear me,
Yeah.
sir. Okay.
So cash and bank fall as current assets. But when you're creating chart of accounts in QB, cash and bank, there's a separate option where it has to be categorized under bank. You should not go and put it under current assets. Why we do that is because there's a separate payment module which gets linked to the bank accounts. You can do a bank payments from QB. So that's why they have created a separate line item. So when you're doing the chart of accounts, you have to make sure all the bank accounts get linked under the option bank. Okay, that is a must.
Sir, it's mean there is a two separate accounts in the bank account and cash account in current account. Like that.
Current assets, exactly. But here we won't categorize them as current asset. We have to categorize them as bank. Okay.
Usually we are using bank and cash. Here bank and cash are different type of
Yes,
accounts in
yes,
here.
yes. That's the thing. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone
thank
else?
you, sir. Sir, there's another doubt. Can you?
Yeah, tell me. Hello. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, you told that inventory line item, there is a important thing in that scenario. Can you explain it also, sir?
Yeah, it's like this. Inventory, when you're updating the inventory, just before the inventory updation, you have to go to your preferences, that company preference in edit, and you have to put the tick saying purchase orders are active. If you don't do that, when you update your inventory without doing that, your inventory will not get linked to your sales and purchases. Okay, you have to go to edit, go to
Okay.
preference. Understood, right?
Yes. Can you speak, sir?
Yeah. So if you go to edit and go to preferences, in preferences you will see purchase orders. In that, I'll show you in the screen if you can. You go to preferences,
Okay.
items and inventory. In company preference, you put this tick. Inventory and purchase orders are active. If you don't put this, and if you without putting this, if you update your inventory, it won't get linked to your sales and purchases. Did you understand?
Yeah, understood, sir. This is a purchase order, no, sir. Before we receiving goods, purchase order, no?
Yeah. Before putting the purchase order, yeah. Okay.
It mean we are not still we are not received the goods.
Yeah. Purchase order means it's more of an estimate. It's just an order. You can buy the goods, or you don't have to buy the good. It's your wish. It's not a purchase.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Okay.
Sir.
Okay.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, then. Mayum sir, shall we continue? It's already 3:15.
Yeah, okay, you can continue.
Mayun sir, hello.
Yeah, you can continue.
Shall we continue? Yeah, there's a lot more to cover. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing, now we finished the vendor column. So we haven't paid any bills. We purchased something from them, and now we are going to move to the sales. Now, vice versa of the purchase, sales, we will give estimates to the customers. That is, which is not a sale. It's just a more like a purchase order for their side. So we call them as sales estimates. Okay, so we are going to create sales estimates for them. Now, if you see sales estimate, it's same as the purchase order. It's just the words going to change, and you're going to select customers. So you're going to pick the customer name. You don't have the customer in your list. So you're going to create. We'll say Sam. He doesn't have any opening balance. You can put all the data you want. You're just going to click OK. So you have created Sam's account. Now what you are going to sell Sam. Now, whatever you have in your purchase, in your inventory only, you will always sell. But you can see here, there is a column saying add new. So you might wonder why it is. That is because you can give a order sales estimate to someone saying, yeah, we'll say bulbs. We have bulbs, but actually if you in our inventory, we don't have the bulbs, but you put the list, you can update saying bulbs and say, give the order. But later, if you go and try to sell it, it won't let you sell because you don't have the inventory. So it's a normal general thing. I hope you all understood. If there's anything, you can ask me later on those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the current inventory item, which is a light fitting. So I'm going to say light fittings. And he's asking for only one. One. And the cost. Now the cost, we don't have to actually match the cost. It's a sales, so we can always pick a higher value. We can say light fittings. Now it's 8,000, and we save and close it. Now your estimates has been done. So you have already done a sales estimate. Now I'm just going to tell you how to create an invoice. Now, simply you just click create invoice. And you're going to select the customer. You can see Sam here. So we'll say he's confirming the estimate. So you click Sam. You can see like how we picked in purchase order, the estimate to invoice has already appeared. So it's asking whether to pick this. So you just click this and say okay. Simple as that. It has got updated. You don't have to change anything. You just say save and close. So now if you go to your customer account, you will see Sam owes us 8,000 rupees. So you can see your sales has been updated. Simple as that. It's nothing new compared to purchases. What you do in purchases, you follow for sales as well. So the next thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you all how we are going to settle bills. So we'll start with the purchases. You can do it in two ways. You can either go to either banking and do it, or you can simply click this pay bill. It's very direct. You just click pay bills. It will show how much all your dues. It's like very easy. You have to just see what are the dues. So you already owe John 50,000 and Mark 11,000. So we'll say we are going to settle Mark partially. We don't have to pay him full 11,000. You can always change this to any amount. We'll say we'll tell John we don't have enough cash. We are going to pay you 5,000 now. Balance will settle you later. So you can always change it to 5,000. The next most important thing. So this is why I told you all why it's important to set cash and bank separately, because here in this window, everything comes into effect. So it will ask what sort of method you are going to pay. Is it a check? or credit card. So here we don't have any credit card account, so it's going to be basically a check. If you see here, it will say to be printed or assigned check number. Now, why this appears, if you are working in real terms, you will know that you can always print your checks directly from QB. It will update everything as it is. You don't have to go and do anything manually. But here in this case, we don't have those kind of facility. I'm just going to say to be printed in commercial bank. So you can see commercial bank account has been already linked. And if you see here, we already, if you all remember, when we set up the chart of accounts, we said commercial bank has 1 million rupee. So now if I pay 5,000, 995,000 is left. So I'm going to pay this bill. Simply you click this. That's it. You can say print check, but we are not going, we can't print check. So I'm just going to say done. Now, if you go to your vendors, now this payment has been done successfully. Now you can go to your vendor center. And see Mark's value has come to 6,000. But when it's a normal run, in a normal company run, you won't be able to tell whether it's how much you all paid and how much this. So that's why the transactions are always appearing here. You can always go to balance here. You can see, oh, sorry. You can see here, you owe 11,000, you settled 5,000, now you owe him only 6,000. You can always have a view on that. It's guys, remember this, QuickBooks is very user friendly. It's not something very hard like another accounting package. You can directly access anything without any issue. You won't get lost at all. So it's a matter of just looking at this. So it's done. So I'm going to close this. Similarly, I sold something, he's going to pay me. So here it will be receive payments. So you click receive payments. It's going to be received from, we'll say Jack this time. He owe me 30,000. And if you see, he has sent me a check for 10,000. So here in this payment point, I have to update as 10,000. Now, if you see, he has already put 10,000. I'm going to save and close it. Save and close. If you go to similarly what we did for vendors, we go to customers. In customers, you can see Jack had 30,000 outstanding. Now he has only 20,000 left. So if you just come down to this column, yeah, you can see the transactions. Just click this and you can see all sales transactions. You can see we had 30,000. Now the balance is only 20,000. Or you can have a different view. You can say balance details. You can see we had 30,000. Now he has paid me 10,000. He has to only give me a 20,000 more. I'm sure you all understood purchases and sales. Very simple, direct approach. So now, without wasting further time, because we have limited time, I'm going to tell you the important part, the taxes, sales tax. So if you know in any country you operate in, there is always a sales tax. In Sri Lanka, you call it VAT, value added tax. So now I never applied any taxes here. Now we'll say from this moment, there is a tax applicable. So you know VAT is at 8%. How we are going to settle it? So I'm going to close this window. And if you see sales taxes, you can't just create a chart of account or anything. You have to do it in another way. Guys, whoever is who is writing it down, please make a note of it. I'm going to do it very slowly. Just see how I'm going to do this. You go to edit. You go to your preferences. There'll be an option called sales tax. You can see here, there's a thing called sales tax. You're going to go to company preference. it's asking, do you charge sales tax? You simply say yes. Now you can't just stop there. You have to create your taxes, sales tax. Now in Sri Lanka, you might have only one sales tax. There are countries there might be other several sales tax. There will be several slabs. For example, those days we had a 20% luxury VAT and there was a normal tax of 12%. So you have to always create those separate items. So you can't just stop here. You have to go to this and say and click create your VAT items. That means your sales tax codes. So I'm going to say add new. This is a sales tax item. Sales tax name is VAT. Description, sales tax, or you can say value added tax. Tax rate is 8%. You click 8%. And the tax agency. Now, what we mean as the tax agency is taxes are collected to be paid to someone. So you can't collect the tax and keep it with you. You have to pay someone. So who is that person? In Sri Lanka, it's the Inland Revenue of Sri Lanka. So Inland Revenue of Sri Lanka has to be your who? Your customer or a vendor. It will be your vendor. So you're going to create an account for your tax agency. So you're going to go to add new and put his name, Inland Revenue. Say okay. So now you can see your sales tax has been created at 8% and it's all sorted. You just say okay. Now this is done. I'm going to say okay again. Now you can see make all existing customers taxable, all existing non-inventory inventory parts. Now why this gets popped out is because there may be exemptions in your own countries. Now in Sri Lanka, we don't have exemptions as such in normal business terms. So everyone is liable for that. So I'm just going to keep all these ticks and say okay. Once you say okay, QuickBook will ask to close again because it has to refresh. So I'm going to say okay. Your sales tax has been created. How you can see is you can see a new option called the manage sales tax option. Now what we are going to do is we are going to purchase a new item with VAT. So I'm going to do it very fast. You are better be in touch. If you all have any doubts, you all can ask me later because we are running out of time. So I'll show you how we are going to purchase with VAT. So it's going to be enter bills. You're going to select. Let's say you're going to buy from Mark. Then you go to items. You are going to buy, let's say we are buying an iron. We are going to buy one iron for, let's say 250. Now it doesn't end here like this. If you just go with 250 like this, you would see I have not added the VAT part. So how do we add the VAT? You go to expenses. You pick sales tax. Sales tax payable. Sorry, sales tax payable. It's here. There's an account called sales tax payable here. You have to put the 8% VAT of this. Now, why we are doing this is now automatically it should calculate, but it won't calculate because you are buying from someone else. Please remember this. In a practical scenario, if you are buying now here, I just bought only one item. You can buy 1,000 items, but some may be liable for the tax or some may not be liable for tax. So QB has been designed in a way when you purchase, it will never automatically calculate the VAT. So here, since it's now we know it's a liable component, but in the QB doesn't know. So we have to put the amount for this 250 rupees. So 250 rupees, 8% would be 20. So I'm going to just save. If you see here, your total due has become 270. Now just see the double entries here. I'm just going to explain very fast. Your item has been recorded at the cost of 250 with a tax of 20 rupees. Why I recorded this 20 separately? Because the VAT which gets generated from sales can be netted off with your VAT spent for your purchases. I'm telling this again. The VAT which you spend on your sales can be netted off with your VAT which you purchased. So that's why the expense has been separately recorded for you to identify later. If you don't do this, if you put the entire 270 here as item, your item cost will get updated as 270, which is a wrong value. So that's why I didn't do that. So I'm going to say save and close. Oh, sorry, I forgot something. Inland revenue. In expenses, when you put this vendor who is going to get this tax is the inland revenue. I forgot to click that, sorry. So once this is done, you're going to save and close this. Now we did it for a purchase. We are going to see how we are going to do for a sale. Sale, it's going to be very direct. You just click create invoice. Right? You select the customer. We'll say Jack. And I'm going to select the item. Quantity, so we'll say we are going to buy light fittings. We are going to buy one. And the price, sorry, we are going to sell. We are going to sell it at, we'll say 10,000, some value. Now, if you see here, guys, please note this properly. Okay, I'm not going to repeat it again because we are running out of time. I'm going to show this again properly. You will see we are buying a light fitting for 10,000, and you can see here a VAT of 8% has been automatically updated at 800. Now, when we did the purchases, you would have noticed the VAT part didn't get calculated automatically because I told you there are practical scenarios in the normal businesses where VAT can be exempt. That means VAT, you don't have to pay VAT for that, or sometimes you might have to pay VAT. That's why it doesn't get automatically updated. But when you're selling, you will know whether this item is liable for VAT or not. Now here you can see there's a thing called tax already adjusted here. You can just simply click this and say non-taxable as well. If you say non-taxable, it will become 0. If you say taxable, it will become 8%. Now, yet again, there's another option. I told you there can be several sales taxes. Now in Sri Lanka, we have only one at the moment. If you have 2 or 3, you can simply go and create another VAT item if you want. We'll say VAT is around 15%. There's another 15% thing. So you can always create 15% and change the rate. It will automatically get recorded. You all don't have to worry anything about all. So now it says 10,800. You just save and close. Now you can go to your vendors and can see your inland revenue account. Now you all might wonder why the inland revenue account is 780. If you all had been with me and listening to me properly, you all remember the first purchase which we did, the VAT amount was 20 rupees. And now the sale we did, the selling VAT was 800 rupees. Remember, I told you VAT can be netted off. So the 800 minus the 20, it has become 780, the net value. This is, now I'm just telling in a very normal way. VAT doesn't work like that in normal terms, but this is just like a general term I'm telling you. It has got netted off 100%. So 780 is your remaining balance you have to pay to the inland revenue, the tax department. Okay. So that's it with the normal basic things which we have to do it. I'm going to tell certain points, certain things which you need to notice. There are things you can directly write checks in QB. You can simply click write checks and pick this person you want to pay, and you can simply do it. Also, there are double entries you can follow. Now, initially when we were creating chart of accounts, I said how we record depreciation. Now, if we have fixed assets, over time, the value of the asset will come down. I'm sure everyone who has an idea of the accounts, even just O-level accounts, you would have remembered those. Now, we had fixed assets. Now, we'll say this is the year end. I'm just saying it's just the year end. Now, we have to record depreciation. Now, how do we record depreciation? What will be the double entry for that? How are we going to post the double entry? That's what I'm going to show now. For this, we have the general ledger account here in QB. All you have to do is go to company. You can see something here called make general journal entries. That means double entries, simple. You click this. Okay, so I'm going to pass some entries. Now, double entry, you should know what is the double entry. If it's a depreciation, it's always you debit the depreciation expense and you credit the respective sorry, respective fixed asset account. So you go to account, you can check whether there's a depreciation account expense available here. You can see here depreciation expense. Now, computer buildings, you might have, now when it comes to depreciation, there are two methods commonly used, the straight line basis and the accumulated basis. So when it comes to straight line, you have your own policies, companies set up this. If it's a written down value method, you can always use that. It depends on what you are using. So I'll just go with, I'm not going to go with in technical terms. I'm just going to pick this. We'll say depreciation for computer. We are going to debit 5,000. So debit depreciation expense 5,000. And in this memo, you can say depreciation for computer and credit the respective account. You can see the computer account is already there. You click this. So already, so depreciation debit 5,000 and computer credit 5,000. So now we are going to post this. You just say new. One sec, I can't see the posting. Okay, now you can see here your computer and the depreciation expense has already been updated. So you can see the depreciation for computer has been recorded. We'll close this off and we are going to go to our home. And in this, if you go to chart of accounts, you can see your computer, which had a value of 500,000 is only now 495. I hope you all remembered how much we put. So I have removed 5,000. So it will automatically update. You don't have to pass another entry to adjust those. It's automatically done. So this is the other thing which I want to tell. So I'm going to quickly, we are left with the 20 minutes left. I need to like cover your questions as well. I'm going to tell how to set up users. So setting up users, like I told you before, not everyone can access everything in a QB file. The company owner can do those things, but when you are an executive or an accountant, you can only give access to certain part of things. So what you do is you create users. So you can see something called setup users. Here, setup users and roles. So you click this. Now I'm here as an admin. I can do anything I want. I can always go and create a new person. And I can put his name. We'll say he's Dylan. I can give him a password if he really wants. I don't have to give it. I put him as the accountant. I add him. And I say, okay. You can see show permissions for role and user. You can pick any role. You can see full access, accountant, banking. So if I pick these things, if I say only sales to Dylan, he can only access sales. You can always do it. You can do anything you want with the users. You don't have to worry about it. It is just an example I showed. Okay. So I think I covered almost everything in this area. As a final thing, I'll tell you, whatever all the accounts we have done at the year end, we have to report them to your management. So you have to open reports. So when you say reports, it has to be a trial balance. It can be a data balance, creditor balance, your fixed asset list. So those things, you don't have to worry anything. QB has a numerous set of lists which can be picked. So you go to reports simply, and you can go to company and financial. You will see the profit and loss standard. If you click this, you have to update the date. One sec. You can see I have done sales of 18,000. I purchased 11,000. There was a depreciation. My total expense 50,000. I have made a net income. I have made a loss of 18,000. Simple. If you don't want to do this, you can go to reports again. If you want to see your balance sheet, if you want to see your assets, you go to reports again. Company and financials. Balance sheet standard. Here you can see all your assets. You have commercial bank assets. You can just click this current assets, this much total. And that's it. Simple as that. And even there are specific reports for customers. You can just go to customer and receivables. You can see the AR aging rate, or you can see customer balance summary. You click the customer balance summary. You have Jack and Sam owing you this much. Very simple as that. It's a very direct method. You just simply click and go it off. So with that note, I'm finishing up QuickBooks. If you all have any question, there's another 15 minutes left. You all can ask me anything you all want. You all can join. I think Mayuran sir and Dylan are online. They might be able to help you to unmute you. Just ask the questions. If possible, I can help you all out. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Yes, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tell me.
Sir, sir, is there any option for the credit note, debit note, or GR or something like that?
I can't hear you. Tell me again.
Yeah, is there any option for credit note, like credit note, debit note, or
Yeah,
GR?
you can place it. Now we'll say there you made a sale. Okay. I forgot to show you. If you have made a sale and if you want to raise a credit note, you can go to refunds and credits. You can see it here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
There's a thing option called refunds and credit. You click this. This is the credit note. You have to just pick the customer, put the item. Simple as that, very direct. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else
So
from
for the
anyone?
debit note, yes, sir.
Yeah, I will unmute few people.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello, yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
how to pass the contra entries in the QuickBook?
As in contra entries?
Yes, yes.
As in, give me example.
We withdraw 50,000 for cash book from our bank account.
Okay.
How can I post the entries?
So that's why I showed you the general journal entries. So you go to company, there's a thing called general journal entries.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you're going to withdraw from your bank account, you have to credit bank and debit whatever the account you want to. If it's a payment or something, you can simply do that directly from the general journal account. It's all
General
linked.
journals. Okay.
Yes. General journal entries. Make general journal entries. That's it.
Okay. Next, how can I get the day books?
The day books.
Yeah.
So you can go to reports.
Okay.
In reports, you can see in company financial, you can always go to individual line wise from even revenue or whatever the things you want. If you even the
No,
expenses,
I
you
need that
what do you need?
day total transaction. That means journal, cash account, bank account.
It should be here somewhere. Wait. Something like this.
Yes.
It will show all you. You don't have to worry. If you just first of all, you just download the QB file. You go
Okay.
through the reports. You can see everything. Like even the taxes you paid, you can take from taxes, job, salary, whatever you want. You can take it. You don't have to worry about reports at all. Even if you don't have anything, you can just go to custom report and create anything you want. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, sir. Can you hear?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. Yeah, you can speak. You can.
Yeah, go ahead.
How to text and that how to.
Sorry, I can't hear you at all.
Your line is not clear. Networking similar.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you. Your line is not clear. I think something's wrong with your internet. I think my initial issue has come to you. The line is not working.
Okay, we go to the next person. Lakmini.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Lakshmi, tell me.
Sir, how about employee payroll system in Qubit?
So employee payroll, there is a separate module called employees. You just go to turn on employee payroll and you click that. One
Okay.
sec. And then if in that you have to update your employee details. Oh, sorry. This is a limited version of the, sorry, wait, 1 sec. See, in QuickBooks, if you want to do the employee, you have to download the separate module for the payroll system. That is now here, this is a test version of QuickBooks which you are using. If you buy the full version, if you buy it with the payroll, there is an option for payroll. You just open that payroll system. You can update your employee details, the EPF, ETF benefits, and what are the accounts you are going to pay their salaries. Everything can be updated. You can see here down there's an employee section. It has not been updated because this system is only for the full vendors and customers. Employee, you have to buy the separate module which you can update everything. Okay.
So how to buy the separate module, sir?
Separate module you have to purchase. I think Mr. Mayuran may be able to help you. Mayuran sir, any idea how we can buy the
Normally when they have
modules?
this original one, they have to tick what are the option they want. So based on that, if they tick the payroll, it will be installed with the payroll system.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. So I hope you all understood something. Anything else?
Gregory. Sure. Yeah, hello. Next person can speak now.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you increase your volume, please?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, which point the purchase recording the book of accounts? Can you?
You want to know where the purchase getting recorded?
Yes. The point
Now,
which
yeah, the point which the purchase get recorded is in enter bills. That is here. The enter bills section which I taught you, not the purchase order, the enter bills area. A purchase order is not a purchase actually. It's a rough estimate you take. You can buy or not buy. It's up to you. Enter bills is the section where you record, and that's the point. It hits the chart of accounts.
okay. Thank you.
Now when it's enter bills, now here I forgot to tell something to you all. I only updated inventory items which directly affects the cost of goods sold. That is the COGS. You can always pay your mobile bills. You can pay electricity bills. Those can be done through enter bills. But when you all are doing it, make sure you all link the account to other expenses. Because now here what I did was I linked everything under cost of sales because there's only inventory items. If it's for other expenses, you can always link your other expenses, mobile expenses separately, water bill separately, like that. That's your wish. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what about the production company for inventory?
So what do you mean by production company now? You are saying like you're manufacturing, is it?
Yeah.
So if you are manufacturing, you can't work on this. You have to create the other account for manufacturing. Now this is just a general buying and selling company. This is like an import and selling company. There is an option when you're creating the company, you pick the manufacturing account. When you pick the manufacturing account, there are options where it will say, it will ask for direct purchases, indirect purchases, direct labor, indirect labor. All those have to be individually updated. I hope if you're working in the manufacturing sector, you understood those words. You have to pick all those one by one and update it. Now here, what I showed you all was a general, because this is like a common thing. Everyone has like a buying and selling. Manufacturing, you can't work on this. When you're creating the company, you have to pick the company as manufacturing. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, fine.
Hello.
Yes, you can speak now.
Yeah, regarding receive payments,
yeah,
receive payment deposit to which accounts you not mention, I think.
You mean the customer receive payments?
Customer receive payment.
So it would have gone to your, now here we receive, 1 sec. I have already linked the commercial bank account for everything. So all the payments also, when you are doing it, it will ask where to be. Wait, I'll just show you.
No, I think it's undeposit mentioned. Not mention the bank accounts.
Oh, sorry, I have not recorded it. So here, wait, I'll show you. All received payments, there's an option called record deposits. You just click the record deposits and simply, now I did only one sale here. I received only one payment. So I just go to tick this and say, okay, it will get updated to your bank. Okay. Hope you understood. Hope I answered the question.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, you can speak.
How
Yes,
to
go.
credit at the VAT and discount?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you tell again, please?
Credit VAT and discount.
Discount. You mean customer discount?
Yes.
So when you're creating the invoice, okay, I'll show you in screen. I hope you're seeing the screen. When you're doing the screen, okay, when you're picking the customer, we'll say when you're selecting, there's a thing called terms. In these terms, you can always, you can see how many days and how many discounts you're going to give. You can always add that. That's not a big deal. It's simple. Sorry, I missed it out when I was telling. Discounts, customer discounts,
Yes.
you all can always go and do it in. When you're raising the invoice, there are options. There's an option called terms. In this, you can add it. Okay. You can say how much the discount percentage you're going to do. And also you can set early payment discount. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Say GRN, how will be put?
So GRN, okay, I did the purchase order directly. Now all you have to do is this receive entry, receive inventory, purchase order, receive inventory.
Yeah.
This is the GRN point. Can you see a thing called option called receive inventory?
Yeah, I can say.
Yeah, that's the option. You just click that and again see that. Now what I did was I skipped the GRN part because it will be time consuming if I start doing all those. So I did from purchase order, I converted directly to the bill part. But if you really work on a company perspective, you have to go to receive inventory. That's the GRN point. Okay.
Okay, so okay. So there's another one that when we are deducting payment, it's able to deduct in cash. How it will be done the transaction?
So that's why when you're making payments, when you say pay bills, you can always, now I didn't create a cash account. You can either pick cash or you can either pick bank and then you select and deduct, pay it off. That's not a problem. Okay.
After the create, before we have to create the cash account, no sir?
Yes, you have to create a cash account because now here since I didn't have much time, I only created a bank account. You have to create a cash account and you have to deduct that account. You have to, when you're making the payment, when you're doing pay bills thing, you have to select what bank account or cash. So if you pick cash and do it, it will be gone. Okay.
It's okay, sir. It's okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So everyone, thank you very much. Hopefully you all understood something and I hope I gave some sort of value addition. So just I'm going to leave this session. I hope you all enjoyed it and thank you for listening all this time and sorry for all the technical interruptions initially. Okay. Have a great evening and please be safe. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Abhilakshan sir. Thank you very much.
Okay,
And
okay, sir.
guys, actually we are doing this program as a free of charge and also motivating you for a E+ accounting package examination. So that's what actually I sir have covered the area which we necessary for the examinations only, which I have not covered. So that is not mostly it won't come to your exam. So if you really want to know more information about it, I think you have to spend some time in IDM, and you can come for a program. Then you can gain a lot of knowledge. But this total course, actually, we are planning the students to go to these final examinations of these E+ accounting packages, and you will be able to receive a VTS certificate. So that's a total idea. So hope you all we are routing in that way. So that's what in the limited time we are doing. So next class we are starting a new package. So QuickBook is finished today. So we are starting a new package. So likewise, according to the timetable, it will be continued until the end. So remember, again, I'm telling, so this particular program is we are focusing on the examination purpose, not for a vast knowledge, because there are lots of things in the QuickBook we have not touched even. But if you really want to use that in your company or organization in a practical way, after getting the certificates, then you have to again go through fully with the vast knowledge. So thank you. Thank you, Abhilakshan sir, for your time.
Okay, sir. Okay, welcome. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you in next class.